Hi and welcome to my comparison of the Prophet 6 and the Sub 37. I got an interesting comment on one of my previous videos regarding the Sub 37 and Pro 6 and Pro 8 and whether you could get sort of similar bass lines out of each. And I suppose if you're thinking of buying a new analog synth, you could get Prophet 6, obviously polyphonic, or this is duophonic. But if you need one all-rounder, can this emulate the sort of Moogy sounds was the question that this can make. So does the Prophet 6, can you get the bass sounds that you'd get from a Sub 37? Obviously the different synthesizers, this one's got two LFOs, one LFO. They've both got two oscillators and a sub, two envelope generators, filter. This one's got high pass. This one on the slope on this can be 6 dB, 12, 18 or 24. This is fixed at 24, which is the classic Moog. It's also got a resonant high, well, I don't think it's self-resonating, but it's got a resonant high pass filter in there. So what I did was I thought, well, let's just look at simple sounds to start off with, because obviously the more complex sounds you make, the more difficult it is to get them to sound the same on both. So I'm doing this through headphones. When I do it through the speakers, I can hear much more subtle differences in the tones. So apologies if they're not exactly the same, and they won't be throughout. I'm not going to try and compare like for like. Really, it's some more of, can you make this sort of noise on this and this sort of sound on this, as opposed to let's try and make them sound identical, because that's just a nightmare. And as soon as you tweak, for example, the filter envelope or the amplitude envelope on one of them, they're slightly different on each of them, and things go out of whack. The cutoff was different on this than it is on this. The resonance is different. The envelope amount's definitely different. So really trying not to copy one and the other. It really, like, let's just have a listen to the feel of the sounds, and if you want this to make bass sounds, can it? I think the answer is going to be yes, but you know, interesting to have a look. So we start off with, I started off and made a simple square wave bass. And that's just a single oscillator, no sub, no second oscillator. The filters are turned fully up, zero resonance, and I've got full envelope generator on them. In fact, well, this is just slightly less than full. If it's full, it goes a bit brighter. You can hear that sounds slightly brighter as is. I'll just knock that down a bit. I'm hearing subtle differences there. This sounds a little bit smoother, this sounds a bit more edgy, but that could again just be a slight change in this. As I've been messing about with these, I'll just play around with the sounds a little bit. You do find there's differences as you tweak the knobs, which is why I'm not trying to do a scientific experiment here. So. Well, I think you'll agree that sounds pretty similar. In the mix, I don't think it would really make any difference. So let's start playing around with the cutoff frequency. And so we've got the envelope generator on there. It's got quite a snappy decay on it. Let's do similar down here. I don't know if you can see, but the filter on this is on 80 Hertz, so the dot's sort of at 9 o'clock, as it were. On this one, it's more like coming up to 11 o'clock to get the same. You can hear slight differences there in the envelopes, can't you? Because obviously the envelope generator is coming into effect now, the cutoff's down. That's not going as low, so taking longer to get them exact the right pain. Okay, sounding good, both of them. Go on to this. Ooh, that's beautiful. Completely different sounds there. I wouldn't say it's unmoogy, but as soon as you start messing with the resonance, you start getting differences in the filters. It's gone quieter. When you knock the resonance up on the Moog, the low frequencies sort of disappear quite a lot. It needs to go lower. Oops. Still needs, the decay needs to come down a bit. Turn this down a bit. So I'm not matching those exactly there, but I still think sounds a bit punchy, that a bit louder. So what I'm doing now is I'm dropping the cutoff down on this. So if you listen to the end of the sound here, so then they're sounding similar now. But as to do that, I've got to change the envelope amount on this to match it to that. Now they're sounding more close. Near as damn it, that. I think that's sounding really close, actually. Closer than I thought I'd get it. Let's try and knock that into a different shape wave, shall we? Let's put it onto a saw. That still makes much difference with the resonance up. Let's knock the resonance down, filter up, saw. You can hear the difference in the waves there. Sounds a bit buzzier. Check everything's the same. Got more balls to it, that one, hasn't it? Unless it's just louder. try the same on that. Cut off about halfway, a little bit of resonance. Bit unfair doing it first on that and then second on this, because then I'm trying to match this to that, which you're never going to do it identically. So let's do it. Let's do another one. I know. Let's add a second oscillator. Let's add a second sawtooth. Sounded quite sort of moogy, oddly enough. Put this one up. Slightly detuning it. Same on this. Turn the resonance down, try and match these a little bit better, so, and cut off all the way up. Check oscillator 2. I like to go slightly out of tune there. Okay, first oscillator back in. Nice together. Sounds buzzier, this one. This, I tend to think there's the filter on this is, or the sound that it's quite darker, much darker than the process. So with it completely open. Quite a warm sound, you could call it, or you could call it dull. So turn the envelope amount down. Bang on, that might be easier. Up again, pull that one down. You can see why when you're constantly changing this and doing volumes and the attack and that, trying to get things absolutely spot on. Really difficult. Sounds a bit crisper now. Turn this up a bit. Okay, add a sub. Stick this at add a sub and put oscillator 2. Nice. There's the sub on that one. Different sort of. I think this is this a triangle? I think, and this is a square. So they're going to sound a bit different than these. I've got to remember as well, if you go over 5 on this, you start driving the filter. I've not been taking that into account actually. Sounds nice, that, doesn't it? Buzzier, that one. Oh, got the filter down. Get the sub out again. There you go, the waves are slightly different. One thing to notice is that it's more fun to do it on this. And these little knobs are really annoying when you're trying to dial in a nice sort of sweet spot. As these nice big chunky ones are just, and they feel a lot smoother. Down a bit, get something usable. For that sound, I much prefer this. It's got some. And it could just be because of the knob, because I think if you close your eyes, they sound similar, but trying to do it is much more difficult. I've got this much movement in that, whereas in this we've got a tiny amount, so it's much more difficult to do it. Okay, let's take a look at the sort of extra features this has got. Can this match it or can't it? From that perspective, we have the multi-drive mode on this and the feedback. On this we've got a distortion. Obviously you've got the effects on there as well. If we go back to the original, that's off. That sounds snappier. Let's just near enough for now for the purpose of this demonstration. So the multi-drive is an overdrive unit that comes in after the filter. Take it off completely, you can hear the difference in the sound. Weird, because as you're gradually pushing it up, you don't notice too much of a difference, but when you take it away, it's huge. What can this do? Well, it has this distortion. it's off there. Reminds me of the Tempest distortion in that you can't really get from 0 to very fine, sort of overdriven. It's distortion. It's not a gentle overdrive. This one feels more like it sits in with the sound. It's part of the sound when this one sits on top, almost like it's going through effects pedal. Which just means it's not any, it's just different. I prefer that for doing that sort of thing on the bass noises, to be honest. I find I don't use the distortion on the Tempest either, for the same reason. If you want to do that sort of thing, it's perfectly fine. Turn this down again. This one tends to keep it more up front. This one sort of, I think it starts to sound more woolly and sort of sitting in a mix rather than. There you go, it sort of disappeared behind the distortion. What may be great for doing various type of effects. Goes completely bonkers. So it's like that lag there, that's what sits behind the mix. With this sound anyway, that's obviously that's the bass as it sits down, as the envelope comes down and you get the low rumble. For this. This also got the feedback circuit, so you've got nothing plugged into the external in. It's that old effect of taking your headphones and putting it into the external like you used to do on the Mini Moog, and which the new Mini Moog does for you. And once you do it wrong on your Voyager, you blow it up. You get a lot more out of this when you put the resonance up, you can hear a huge difference. Sort of tames it. Take that off. All very gorgeous. Amazing. This can't do that. Gonna get that. So, can do similar noises, but they're not the same. They're obviously not the same. They're built to do different things. Depends what you're going to do. If the sort of bass is going to be. If you want that, get that. If it's going to be more along the lines of a sort of standard bass sound, this will, it makes beautiful, beautiful sounds. Other things to note: 2 LFOs, 1 LFO. The sequence on this is fantastic, and the LFO sources and how you modulate things is just phenomenal. This obviously harps back to the Pro 5. It's got the polymod section. This can modulate anything with anything, and it's really simple to do. Well, say anything with anything. You modulate these are the 2 modulation routes. They're standardly set up as an LFO for the LFO, but you can change that through this, and you can program in anything to change anything really. But if you look at just the LFO on that, I love the way this does it. You can go to the program destination, you just hold that and whatever you're going to send it to. I won't do it. It's on my other video. That is the sort of sub 37 walkthrough. Yeah. Well, I hope that solves any of these issues anyone's having, as if if this is enough. Pro 8 will do pretty much what this will do from that aspect. It doesn't have the distortion. It does have a 12 dB filter. This has got the 12, the 18, the 24, and the 6. This has only got the 12, but this has got the high pass. If you really, really want your big fat bass, this is what you get. Again, tiny knob, big knob, loads better for doing this with. But this is 6-note polyphonic and built-in effects, etc., etc. Anyway, hope that's helpful to somebody, because it was a pain in the backside rerouting my studio to put these synths on this rack. Cheers.